So the carpets in here, there's bits of mould on them and they're just overall really scruffy, to be honest. I'll have a go on the tailgate now and just see what difference I can make. Does look a lot better. That went pretty well. I'm gonna just have a go on the driver's side. He's definitely doing his job. This is what I'm going to use to paint work fresh again. I think I've mentioned already, I've had a lot of trouble with the heater. It's red hot on the driver's side and cold on the passenger side, and I just cannot get the temperature to change on the driver's side. When looking at the fuse box, I noticed there was a relay missing, so I've ordered the exact one I need to put there. I don't think it's really going to make a difference. I have checked all the fuses and they're all fine for the aircon and the fan. This is the relay that was missing. Now I think that is something to do with the aircon. That one was the suspension. I tried swapping it, but it didn't really make a difference. I don't know if this will make a difference. Maybe having all of them will make a difference, but it probably won't. There's quite a lot of grease and mould to get off, so hopefully this should help out a lot. I'm going to hoover as much of that crap away as I can. I've got some spray adhesives. I intend on placing a whole headliner one day, probably with a black one, but for now I just want to stick this up so it looks a bit tidier. I'm going to do the back footwell now. It's not too bad because it's had mats in. Now I did suspect the sound system wasn't quite right. Turns out the speakers in the back aren't doing anything, it's only the speakers in the front doors. Now the amplifier has been replaced with a Discovery 2 one. That's why the sat nav doesn't work, but I don't see why that would stop the back speakers from working. So if it is that, put it down below if you know. I'll make sure it is or isn't that before I try and see why there's no power getting to them. Done the best I can with the carpet, really. It's not amazing. I'll probably try a bit more actually, but it's definitely better than it was. I've just spent ages steam cleaning in here. It's covered in some sort of lacquer. It looks horrible. I can't get it off, but it looks a lot better. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but these three bits have done look a lot better. This looks a lot better than it did before. I should have started at the top really, but oh well. This bit now. What we have done is glued the headlining up temporarily. Now I know it looks rough as buggery, but I will replace it one day, probably with a black one. So this is just temporary fix. It was also coming off at the edges here on this boot panel. Same spray adhesive and just stuck it back together. The very eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed there's something missing under the bonnet. Battery cover. So we got this, so might as well just stick it on. I did clean it up a bit, but yeah, I think it already looks better with that on. If you're paying super close attention, you'll have noticed that this panel is missing. So I've got a new handle and a new panel to go in here. Well, that's a handle on, and that is a new panel. So I'm going to try and get rid of all this mould today. I'm sick of looking at it, and just get all the plastics and the leather just clean and sorted, and hopefully it should smell a bit fresher as well. Seats are probably the worst bit. I mean, look at the state of that. Anyway. The GoPro turned itself off halfway through, but I did the headrest separate and that looks miles better. But while I'm here, I might as well do the middle console as well. So my GoPro's getting too hot and it's turning itself off. But this is a bit I'm most excited about. It's doing the seats. So these are the back seats. As you can see, they're quite black and stained. I've done the back of them, and they look alright. Already you can probably tell that looks miles better. This is the worst one apart from the driver's one. It's pretty black and oily and horrible. So it'll be interesting to see how well this one comes out.
Someone who listens and is funny and true. The things you say always float around in my mind. 'Cause you and I are the only memories I find. Don't need a magic ball to tell me you're the one. And they say love's a game, but I hit the home run. Love runs madly, deeply. I can get away, got me going crazy. Baby, won't let this fade away. It's love tied together.
So I started this at 4:30, now it's 9 o'clock, so that's how long I spent on it today. I think you'll agree though, it looks a lot better than it did before.
This is the love I dream. When I'm lying in bed and I cannot sleep and I think about how I love
enough done now. We'll go over the seats with some kind of leather care stuff. I've got some Car God stuff that's really good, so I'll do that another day, but at least I've got it all tidied up now. Apart from that, I've not got a lot left to do on the interior, although I will have to take the dashboard out eventually and have a go over this blend motor and see if that helps with my heating on the driver's side. I've got it ordered, so it should be here soon. Another problem, the handbrake light is always on now. It doesn't bother me, it's just probably another bloody sensor, but yeah, if you've had that, just tell me what it is. I'm sure it'll just be something simple, won't it? Now, just before I end the video, there's another problem again. The display for my heater controls has stopped working completely. It's just green, so it looks like I'll be buying another one.